Imagine a person who lives on your street. They drive a modest car, mow their own lawn, smile politely, and never seem in a hurry to impress anyone. Their clothes are neat but unbranded. They rarely talk about money, rarely talk about success, and never talk about how much they make. If you met them at a dinner party, you might assume they are comfortable, maybe upper middle class, maybe just careful with spending. What you would not assume is that this person quietly built a net worth of several $1,000,000. They are what we call the silent millionaire. They are not loud. They are not flashy. They are not chasing validation. They are building wealth in a way that almost looks boring. But beneath that simplicity lies a powerful set of habits. In T-Speed we're diving deep into the 7 habits of the silent millionaire. And by the end, you'll see that true wealth is less about luck or hype and more about consistent, intentional behavior practiced over years. The first habit of the silent millionaire is that they value freedom more than status. Most people chase visible symbols of success: bigger houses, newer cars, designer labels, luxury vacations, posted online for everyone to see. Silent millionaires see these things differently. To them, every expensive purchase is not just a transaction, it's a trade. It's time traded for money, and money traded for lifestyle. Before they buy something, they don't ask, will this impress people? They ask, will this increase or decrease my freedom? Freedom means the ability to walk away from a toxic job. Freedom means the ability to take a year off. Freedom means the ability to support family without stress. When status and freedom collide, they choose freedom every time. That's why they often live below their means, even when they could afford more. They are not afraid of looking average. They are afraid of being financially trapped. While others are upgrading their lifestyle with every raise, silent millionaires are upgrading their investment portfolio. They understand that real wealth is not what you display, it's what you don't have to worry about. The second habit is that they master the art of spending intentionally. Notice the word intentional, not cheap. Silent millionaires are not necessarily extreme penny pinchers. They will spend on things that truly matter to them. But they are ruthless about eliminating waste. They track their expenses, at least mentally, if not on paper. They understand where every dollar goes. If they dine out, it's because they enjoy the experience, not because they're too tired to cook every day. If they buy a car, it's because it fits their needs, not because it signals success. They don't let lifestyle inflation quietly steal their financial progress. Every time their income increases, they don't automatically increase their spending. Instead, they ask themselves how much of this increase can go toward investments. They know that small, repeated expenses, the daily habits, the subscriptions, the impulse buys, are what silently erode wealth over time. So they build systems that make mindful spending the default. They automate savings. They separate accounts. They create friction for unnecessary purchases. Over years, this intentional spending compounds into massive financial stability. It's not about deprivation. It's about clarity. The third habit of the silent millionaire is long-term thinking. They operate on a timeline that most people don't have the patience for. While others are chasing quick returns, trending stocks, viral business ideas, or overnight success, silent millionaires are comfortable with slow growth. They invest consistently. They understand compounding, not just mathematically, but emotionally. They accept that the biggest gains often come from staying invested through boring years, through downturns, through moments when nothing seems to be happening. They don't panic during market dips. They don't get overly excited during market highs. They follow a plan. This long-term mindset extends beyond investing. In their careers, they focus on skill development rather than job titles. They are willing to take roles that teach them valuable abilities, even if the immediate pay bump is small. In business, they build systems rather than chasing short-term profits. They understand that wealth built slowly is wealth that lasts. They don't need to win this year. They're building to win over decades. The fourth habit is emotional discipline around money. Money triggers strong emotions in most people. Fear when markets fall, greed when opportunities look hot, envy when others appear to be doing better. Silent millionaires have trained themselves to pause before reacting. They don't make major financial decisions in moments of emotional intensity. If they receive a bonus, They don't rush out to celebrate with a huge purchase. If they face a financial setback, they don't spiral into panic. They step back, evaluate the situation, and respond rationally. This emotional discipline protects them from costly mistakes. It keeps them from selling investments at the worst time. It keeps them from buying into hype at the peak. It keeps them from making ego-driven financial decisions just to compete with peers. Over time, avoiding big mistakes is just as powerful as making smart moves. In fact, much of their wealth comes not from extraordinary wins, but from consistently avoiding catastrophic losses. The fifth habit is that they invest in themselves relentlessly. The silent millionaire understands that their greatest asset is not their portfolio, not their property, not even their business. It's their ability to create value. They read regularly. They learn new skills. They adapt to changes in technology and industry. They are curious. Instead of spending hours comparing themselves to others online, they spend time improving their knowledge. They may take courses. They may experiment with side projects. They are always building capacity. This investment in self leads to higher income potential, better decision-making, and increased resilience. If they lose a job, they are confident they can find or create another opportunity because they have built valuable skills. If one investment fails, they can recover because they understand the principles behind wealth building. Their self-education compounds, just like their financial investments. Year after year, they become more capable, more insightful, and more strategic. The sixth habit is diversification of income streams. The silent millionaire rarely relies on a single source of income. They may start with one primary job, but over time they build additional streams. This could be investments that generate dividends. It could be rental properties. It could be a small side business. It could be royalties, consulting, or partnerships. The point is not complexity for the sake of complexity. The point is resilience. When one stream slows down, others continue. This reduces financial stress and increases confidence. Multiple income streams also accelerate wealth building. Instead of depending solely on salary raises, they create systems that earn even when they are not actively working. They understand that time is limited, but leverage is powerful. Investments, assets, and businesses allow them to separate time from income gradually. This shift is crucial. Once income is not directly tied to every hour worked, wealth can grow faster and more sustainably. The seventh habit, and perhaps the most defining, is humility. Silent millionaires do not feel the need to broadcast their success. They are comfortable letting others underestimate them. They don't measure their worth by applause. They measure it by progress toward their goals. This humility protects them from comparison traps. It protects them from overspending to keep up appearances. It allows them to move strategically without attracting unnecessary attention. Humility also makes them better learners, because they don't assume they know everything. They remain open to advice, correction, and new ideas. They can admit mistakes. They can pivot. They can grow. Ironically, this quiet approach often accelerates their wealth because they spend less energy maintaining an image and more energy building real assets. Now let's look deeper at how these habits interact. Valuing freedom over status naturally supports intentional spending. When you care more about independence than appearances, you stop buying things just to impress. Long-term thinking reinforces emotional discipline. When you're focused on decades, a bad quarter doesn't shake you. Investing in yourself increases your ability to diversify income streams. Humility makes it easier to keep learning and adjusting. These habits are not isolated. They form a reinforcing loop. Each one strengthens the others. Consider how a silent millionaire might approach a typical financial milestone like a promotion. The average person might celebrate by upgrading their car, moving to a more expensive home, or increasing lifestyle spending across the board. The silent millionaire might celebrate too, but in a controlled way. They might allocate a small portion of the raise for enjoyment, because life is meant to be lived. But the majority goes toward investments. They increase their retirement contributions. They add to their brokerage account. They pay down debt faster. They use the promotion as a stepping stone toward greater financial independence, not as permission to inflate their lifestyle. Think about how they respond during economic uncertainty. When headlines scream about recessions or market crashes, many people freeze or panic. Silent millionaires go back to fundamentals. Do they have an emergency fund? Yes. Are their investments diversified? Yes. Are they overleveraged? No. If their foundation is solid, they stay the course. They may even see downturns as opportunities to invest at lower prices. This calm behavior during chaos is not accidental. It's the result of years of disciplined habits. Another key element of the silent millionaire mindset is delayed gratification. They have trained themselves to prioritize future rewards over immediate pleasure. This doesn't mean they never enjoy life. It means they are selective. They understand that every dollar invested today has the potential to multiply tomorrow. When faced with a choice between a temporary thrill and a long-term asset, they often choose the asset. Over time, this repeated choice builds enormous wealth. Delayed gratification is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Silent millionaires exercise this muscle daily. Let's also talk about their relationship with debt. Silent millionaires are cautious with debt. They understand leverage, but they respect risk. They avoid high-interest consumer debt because they know it erodes wealth. If they use debt, it is often strategic, such as for acquiring appreciating assets or expanding a business with calculated risk. They run the numbers. They consider worst-case scenarios. They don't borrow to maintain a lifestyle they cannot truly afford. This careful approach to debt keeps them stable and prevents financial stress from spiraling out of control. Their social circles also reflect their mindset. Silent millionaires often surround themselves with people who value growth, responsibility, and integrity. They are careful about peer pressure. If a friend group constantly encourages overspending or risky behavior, they create boundaries. They understand that environment shapes behavior. Instead of trying to impress others, they seek out conversations about ideas, investments, personal development, and long-term goals. They may not talk about their own wealth, but they are deeply interested in learning from others who think strategically. Time management is another subtle habit. Silent millionaires treat time as their most precious asset. They don't waste hours mindlessly scrolling or engaging in activities that drain energy without providing value. They allocate time for learning, planning, and reviewing finances. They conduct periodic check-ins with themselves. Are their investments aligned with their goals? Is their spending aligned with their values? Are they growing professionally? These reflections keep them on track. Instead of drifting through years, they steer deliberately. Gratitude also plays a role. Silent millionaires appreciate what they have. This gratitude reduces the urge to constantly upgrade and chase more for the sake of comparison. When you are content, you make clearer decisions. You are less reactive. You don't feel compelled to prove anything. Gratitude stabilizes their mindset and keeps ambition healthy rather than desperate. One of the most powerful aspects of the silent millionaire is consistency. None of these habits are extreme on their own. Living below your means sounds simple. Investing regularly sounds basic. Avoiding emotional decisions seems obvious. But most people fail not because they don't know these principles, but because they don't apply them consistently. Silent millionaires apply them year after year, through good times and bad times, through career changes and life transitions. This steady application turns ordinary income into extraordinary wealth. You might wonder if this lifestyle feels restrictive. Surprisingly, many silent millionaires report the opposite. Because they are not burdened by excessive debt or financial anxiety, they feel lighter. Because they are not constantly chasing status, they feel grounded. Because they have built financial cushions, they can take risks that others cannot, like starting a business or switching careers. Their discipline creates flexibility. Their restraint creates opportunity. As you reflect on these 7 habits, it becomes clear that becoming a silent millionaire is less about income level and more about behavior. You don't need to earn millions to start thinking like one. You can begin valuing freedom over status today. You can track your spending today. You can invest a small amount consistently. You can choose long-term thinking over short-term excitement. You can practice emotional discipline the next time you're tempted to make an impulsive purchase. You can invest in learning a new skill. You can explore building a second income stream. You can choose humility over hype. The path is not glamorous. It will not generate viral attention. It may not even earn you recognition from friends or family in the early years. But over time, the results speak quietly and powerfully. One day, you may realize that you have options most people only dream about. You may realize that work is a choice, not a necessity. You may realize that financial stress no longer dictates your decisions, and the world may still see you as ordinary. That is the beauty of the silent millionaire. They don't need the world to know. Their bank account knows. Their peace of mind knows. Their freedom knows. In the end, wealth built in silence often lasts the longest. It is rooted in habits, not hype. It grows through discipline, not drama. It is sustained by character, not comparison. The 7 habits of the silent millionaire are not secrets reserved for a lucky few. They are principles available to anyone willing to be patient, intentional, and consistent. The question is not whether these habits work. The question is whether you are willing to practice them quietly, persistently, and without applause. Because that is how real wealth is built.